Glove up?
No. As soon as they're both ready, I'm gonna have you guys do shadow boxing in front of each other in the ring to get good, and then from there we'll glove up, put a mouthpiece in. When I'm shadow boxing, I'm in complete charge of everything that happens and do. Like every punch that I block, it's because I imagine there's a punch coming. If I'm shadow boxing in front of somebody, I do have to react to what my opponent's doing. So it just kind of picks up the level of uncomfortability. I have to be in control of where my punch is because I don't want to accidentally hit my training partner when I'm doing this drill. And control, that's an important part of boxing all the way around, is being in control of your machine. When you're shadow boxing, it's easy to think about all the punches I'm throwing, not necessarily the ones coming back at me. So if you're shadow boxing with somebody else, not only are punches coming back at you, but you're also having to adapt to a moving target, which makes it more challenging. Good control, good seeing stuff. You're not just throwing, you're taking into consideration what your opponent's doing. That's good. All right, everybody, get your mouthpiece and put your big gloves on. A couple things I want to say about defense first. One thing you hear is like, what's more important, head movement or hands up? My opinion is your eyes. If you don't see what's happening, you can't pick your hands up or move your head. So being alert, keeping your eyes focused on your opponent, whether it's their eyeballs, their chin, their chest, wherever you're comfortable focusing, seeing everything. I mean, even if Ben's looking at my chest, he can see my foot moving, so staying focused on your opponent and keeping mentally focused is the first line of defense. And then another thing I'd like to say about defense, a good defense keeps you in the fight. A great defense sets up offense and wins you the fight. And what I'm saying about that is a good defense, like I'm not getting blasted with punches, I'm not getting hurt, I'm not getting hit, I'm not letting them score. A great defense, I'm counterpunching off of my defense. So I'm setting up offense off of it. And that's kind of what separates the upper level of people. The drill we're gonna do is each person's gonna put their toe in the tire. So we're basically taking away footwork. Footwork is an aspect of defense. Yeah, if somebody's coming at me, I can just move my feet. That's definitely defense. But I'm gonna take that away from you guys now. So we gotta rely on our eyes, you gotta rely on your head movement, you gotta rely on your blocking. We're not trying to hurt each other, but we're trying to pick the openings, trying to be tricky, trying to create shots.
We can't use distance either, this is all...
I mean, I can make a miss like that, that's fine. I can make a miss like that. I can deflect with my shoulder, come counter punch. I can change it. Another thing about defense is I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. I don't want to be predictable. Some punches I want to pull, some punches I want to slip, some punches I want to block. The more variety you have to what you do, the harder it is for me to figure out how to counter react it. We'll do a half a round, one person just defense, one person just offense. But
that was close. Yeah, that was close.
So the person that's throwing is going to have the dominant foot position. So now you're in a bad position, you got to rely on your defense even more. Do your best so they don't hurt them. Okay, And work. Double up on shots, yep, double up. Under, over, under, head, body, head. There's different ways you can break down that defense. If I'm in the beginning of a fight, my first goal is like, all right, I'm not gonna get hit with anything. I'd rather be 10 feet away and not get hit than risk actually getting hit. But as I figure out the timing of my defense, I don't wanna move too much. I don't wanna jump 5 feet away every time my opponent throws a jab, because now I gotta work back in. I don't wanna roll 2 feet underneath the punch, because by the time I'm up, they're back in position. So your defense should be short moves, small moves, tight moves. It gives you a better chance of countering. It makes your opponent have to work harder. So tighten everything up. The adjustment I saw you make, you were doing it right from the beginning, is at first you're just like standing there blocking everything he's throwing. Then you started giving him different looks. Now you just make him think. He's having to adapt to that. And then you start to get a little comfortable where you could use your eyes. You found the timing of the shot. That's all good work. You just got to make sure in a fight you're not getting caught with punches when you're doing that. Like you're doing it on your terms. You're not doing it because I always just drop my hands. You're doing it because it's on your terms.
Here I feel like it's a little easier staying calm. That's a big thing I got to transfer to the ring. I feel like just really when you're in there staying calm and I feel like that makes it a little easier to even see where everything's coming from. You're not so just tightened up or whatever.
This time the person throwing, I want you to focus more on putting real combinations together. It's easy just to block pot shots, one shot at a time, but if someone's actually it challenges your defense. Work.
Attention fighters, are you just getting started on your boxing journey and struggling with the fundamentals? Join our community down below, where we've created a course to solve that problem for you. This is a community to share tips, to share knowledge, to connect with other fighters, and to improve your skills and awareness in the sport. We'll see you in there.
Not giving them a stationary target at all. You can't have a discussion on defense and not also talk about the jab. It's probably one of the best things just to disrupt the rhythm of your opponent. They have to get to you. The jab is the least telegraphing punch and at least can freeze them up. Maybe you land a hard jab and even hurt them. That's a good defensive tool as well. Now we're gonna add counter punching. So one person's leading off, the other person try just to counter. All right, you can counter with one punch, you can counter with combos, that's fine. But as you're doing your defense, think about punching in between the shots and finding your openings. Another aspect of that feel with the defense, and this will be more in line on a great defense. We're on the inside, Ben's throwing punches at me. As I'm feeling him block, I know there's an opening. My eyes can be closed, I can be blind. I know that if he hits me here, there's a chance I can land that shot. If he hits me here, there's a chance I can land that shot. So just by the feel, I know that there's an opening there if I can get on and take it, okay? Another thing to think about too, is not everything is gonna go according to plan. I might miss bigger than I think I'm gonna miss. I might get off balance. I have to be aware, okay, he's pulled it out, I missed the right hand. I'm open for a hook. I need to know I gotta check my defense here. I gotta make an adjustment by using head movement. So I'm always aware of my vulnerabilities towards my opponent, and I have to know that I gotta make an adjustment that's maybe unconventional, but it's better than getting hit, okay? We'll do 2 full rounds. Anybody can lead, anybody can counter. It's basically, 50% sparring. Tighten up your defense, you're trying to be able to counter. Great control. Is you don't want to get stuck on defense, all right? Your opponent's going to recognize it and know, and he's just going to keep running their hands. So you have to always offer the threat or make your opponent believe that you're always dangerous at any point. Just about every defensive move, you do it right, you turn into an offensive move. That's fun. Okay. Both of you guys started learning that you didn't need to jump out to make the miss. Yeah. And as the round went, I saw you get more and more comfortable knowing like I can just make a miss by this much, just make a miss by this much. That helps you when it's time, when I'm gonna switch mode, start countering those punches. And then I think the last thing I have to say about the difference between a good and a great defense and being able to counter, it's one thing just to be able to counter the punches my opponent's throwing. The next level would be making them throw the punch that I want to counter. Okay? So like that's something to be aware of. Like, if every time I jab, they come back with a jab, and I want to counter their jab, I'm not going to wait for the jab. I'm going to jab to make them jab so I can counter the jab. So you got to start thinking. Now you're 2 steps ahead of your opponent. All right? Good job. Brian, why do you look like you're dying? How do you got black eyes from this?
We're pretty close to each other here. You know, we don't need to jump back to the bar.
That's what I was saying. It's just like right here, kind of. Right here, and being alert, like coming back and just being alert. That's like safe enough, kind of, you know.
Staying in your stance. Like, we're fucking close to each other.
That's what I was thinking too. Like when we first did, I was like, holy fuck, we're real close.
But then it still felt bar.
Yeah.
Like it felt
But
bar.
then you
Like,
just come back, you got your little hand out here. Here. I mean, it's real. I like that. Thank you, brother.